Alright, welcome to another Stormgate cast. My name's Algorithmor, and this is going to be another ladder match. And I stole this ladder match right from one of these two. It was actually jayxp's public match history on untapped.gg. And maybe I should start with him. Our first opponent here is going to be jayxp123 with the public replays. And he's in the Red Vanguard today, and his opponent, who we were briefly peeking in here, is msrm, the Blue Infernal, also colloquially nicknamed the Mushroom by his good friend Grimmy. But I will call him by his chosen name, msrm, the Mastermind, as he says, Mastermind. Maybe we'll never know what it stands for. But yeah, this is a game that I stole off jayxp's untapped.gg. So if you are looking for replays to check out, if you're like me and you're a content creator, you can go and steal some there. But if you're just looking for some to study, go to the leaderboard, click on people's profiles, see if they have a public match history and a public replays, and if so, you can steal their games. If you don't care really who the games are by, you can also use the build order tool on untapped.gg to find all kinds of replays at different skill levels with different openings to see how they worked out and see if they're a good opening for you to try. So lots of cool ways to get replays. Now, so far jayxp here, this is his second barracks here after going command post first. But it looks like msrm is on 3 shrines, or he's put 3 shrines down. I didn't quite see the timing here. It looks like it might have been Conclave first. He's got some gaunts queued, but he doesn't have supply. Has not built a single farm. Instead, is just waiting for this base to build. And sure enough, then the gaunts pop. And I guess he had a brute queued too. Now, is that because he's got his build all timed out? I think that's probably more that he's still learning the new eco and trying to figure out what is the best timing for buildings and so on. In that particular case, for instance, since those units were queued up, he could have built his buildings later and not have had to queue them. And who knows what that means? I don't know what that means. But maybe that means he should have just went for a different order. Maybe the 3rd shrine was too early or something like that. Or maybe just throw a farm down. Maybe that's the other thing he was missing. Lots of different changes. In fact, that's one of this stage of the game can be very exciting, as there are, when you have new big changes like the eco change, you almost have completely fresh meta, and all the build orders are out the window, and even strategies that used to work no longer are viable. msrm pioneered the Hexen opening with the Mass Fiends that was popular just before the most recent change, and that whole meta is out the window with the econ. The game is too fast now that if you try that, you're just behind other builds. So that's just an interesting way that the game's changed. And again, msrm out here creeping with his force that's growing and growing. He's doing a pretty standard T1 opening with brutes and gaunts. And a couple racks here, we saw those as lancers running back and forth because there were a few fiends here. That might be the opening scout. We have a Biokinetics lab here at the 3rd base, and it's going for quick draw hustle. Now, is that because the lancer tech is done? No, these lancers are unupgraded. And both these players are looking to do a little aggression, so msrm is coming across the map with his brutes and gaunts, and the lancers turn back to regroup in bigger numbers. Now 5 lancers is not bad. There comes some exos as well. Now if the lancers can get around on those light units, on the gaunts and the Hexen, this could be a pretty good battle for for jayxp. And msrm has, I think, thought the same thing here. Like, there's just a bit too many lancers here, and they're dangerous. The exos in the back, which are all promoted, They're really the reason why he has to run, and that's because with the Exos in the back, the frontline brutes are going to melt down pretty quickly, and that means, yeah, so he does have to run. As we see there, that brute turns to fight and just immediately kind of melts. But msrm gets back to his base here and gets into that safety of that speed cam, and it looks like jayxp is going to steal his health camp as a result. And look at those lancers. Yes, please, we'll take some of those healing rays. But heading out while still fairly low, I don't know if I like that. And there is a Hellborn here now. And if I was jayxp, I would run there. And ooh, really low Lancer here. Yay. It's taken out. More Lancers going down. The Exos wanting to do their quick draw hustle sort of stutter step. But without Lancer frontline, they're dangerous. This chicken wants to be an Exo. Wants to join the squad. Brave chicken. Alright, so the Exos are in retreat. They're going to go take back this camp, which must have been taken by a Skull or a Fiend or something like that. And msrm is a little defensive, has upgraded to mines, so he has a couple mines on the map, but it doesn't look like he's built an extra hexen unless any have gone down. And macroing, but not quite at... Oh, so a lot of Therium mining here. 9 on this base and 6 over here. But not fully saturated on the imps yet. And still with a lot of Luminite. So I wonder what that's about. Again, this is on the ladder, and these players are trying to learn the new macro just like all of us. And because the econ is so different now, that especially as the games get a little bit longer, there's, it's more just playing with your instincts, trying to figure the feel of the game as opposed to playing a particular build or playing a particular meta, resting more on just your raw talents as an RTS player and realizing, oh, I've got a little extra money, so I better put down some more productions. We see jayxp had that, but now his money is equalized again, and that's partly because, boom, another base went down, another base went down over here. Realizing that those base timings with the new econ are much faster now. It looks like around that 8-minute mark, maybe we should be on 5, shrines or 5 command posts. We'll see. Or it could just mean that there needs to be more constant engagements at this stage of the game. I have seen on some of the smaller maps that this stage of the game can turn into just almost a meat grinder of units, which can be kind of exciting. As reinforcements are much faster with the new econ, you can get that many more showing up to kind of replace the ones that are dying. There's maybe a little bit more balance between the replacing the units and the time to kill. That means that you have units showing up at the same speed that they're dying, which can always be interesting, can keep those battles going on for a long period. So we'll see if this new pacing is going to be what this game needs. I personally think it, I don't like the direction that it went for certain reasons related to micro, but I do think in terms of balancing out things like the econ speed with the time to kill and making it possible for there to be longer drawn out battles, that is certainly an advantage of the new econ, and I do want to see more of that kind of interaction. Certainly those have been my favorite games to cast and to play. Whereas games like this on Isle of Dread, where now there was some initial battling, but now we're kind of just watching the armies move around and creep out their side of the map. This is not quite as exciting as it would be if they were just smashing these armies into each other in a constant reinforcement and, relying on maybe good positioning, good micro to try and see who wins that battle, or just whoever has the best macro at the end. And it looked like there was going to be an engage there, but the first miasma went down, and then so did the system shocks as these units all speed their way out of here. Zippity-doo-dah. But I'm not sure exactly why. It does kind of look like JXP, and we can see in the numbers here that JXP does have the macro advantage. And that might just be from sort of going a little bit quicker into the early extra command posts. Whereas msrm trying to catch up on the supply, not too far behind when their numbers are quite this big. But there are a lot of fiends here. Actually, there's only 5, so that's not quite as many as it's going to skew the supply. Those overcharged bobs run away. And we do have an effigy here, preemptive for this battle. A couple miasmas going down. Another one. This is actually a pretty good battle here. But nice system shocks. Now, if I remember correctly, system shock is also a dispel. So all the infests on those units get dispelled. Oh, huge jump jets through the bushes here to get a flank. And coming out on top of all these Hellborns. There's so many miasma bubbles, though. Can they survive? Oh, so many units went down to the miasma. And they're just staying in that fight there, trying to take out the Hellborn. I don't know if this is going to work for JXP. I like the move initially. But is he going to win out? Actually, all of a sudden, the miasmas are ending their spell. And there's not very many Hexen left at all. And it's just the Hexen, or the Hellborn, sorry, hoping they can get enough splash damage. They just fire so slow. Their DPS, and it looks like JXP comes out on top. There's this one Hellborn that's like, can I get home? No one saw me in the back there. This run by here is what distracted JXP and brought his forces back. And those units are maybe going to escape too. Look at them trying to run away here. So pretty cool. And alright, so JXP, wow, with 100 supply lead after that engage. So who knew there? There's so many miasma bubbles all over the ground there. I thought, how can you even battle? All his units were standing in miasma. But remember, miasma, what it does is, I think, 7 or 8%, 8% maybe per tick per second. And it only lasts 5 seconds under the current spell, so one of them will not kill your units. It will get some low, and if your units were already low and they stand in the miasma, as we're kind of seeing here, they are starting to go down. Some nice stasis drones down on some of those Hellborns, though. It looks like the supply lead was just enough. Oh, and huge Magmadon popping out there. Oh, and just as the Molten Touch finishes too, so many low exos on fire, getting stunned out. Another hero mag pops out. But the med protects in the back with their healing touches, keeping these exos back up. And the exos have kind of pushed into that production. They're now trying to mow down the imps over here at the Ethereum base. The shrine will go down, and these imps get chased back out the back here. I thought there were trees here for a bit. Maybe they got taken out again. I think they did. There were some there on the... I'm confused. Maybe I'm hallucinating. Look at these imps. Like, we'll mine Therium from the Therium Tower. Trying to fight kinetic redirect. Upgraded Lancers. That's not cool. They're running. They wish they had the flame on. They wish they were Theriumps. It's a great flame on ability, but nope, they are just imps that walk to their doom and splat their little cranberry sauce guts all over the ground. Look at this. Ay. All these fiends, they're all split brutes because they all got the white health on. They see a few Lancers and like, oh wait, we forgot. Lancers are good against us. We're just going to run away. Look at that Lancer with the shields up on it. I've never seen a shields up Lancer before. That's funny. These Bobs over here just trying to say, hey, this is our base here now. Can you guys get out? Can you get out of here? What are we getting? Farm Shroud Stones. Okay. Shroud Stones. And these fiends still just trying to find somewhere where they can attack. What's going on over here? Solar. I don't even know what that does. Faster Bob production. 19 Bobs over here. Or there were. 0 now. Fiend's trying to get on Bobs. Oh, well, Bobs are invincible, and there are sentry posts over here, as well as an ambush, 2 ambush posts. And Fiend's over here. There is no defenses over here, so they will get the Bobs over here. But meanwhile, we have JXP on a full-on offensive, taking out some bases over here. Those were some interesting forward production. Nice miasmas here to zone the units back as they're fairly low. But it looks like JXP is just trying to gather his units together into one kind of death ball. He'll take out the Therium camp for now. But he's going to move into this base. There are Shroud Stones up now, but they're not going to last very long. Helicarriers up above. I feel like they're just defensive helicarriers in the sense that they're going to save their bombing runs for when they see MSRM's army coming to defend, and we see that army coming up here. Imps as well running, although I thought they were maybe going to Flame On, but we saw earlier there are no Flame On yet. Hellborn's firing down. Miasma's going down on the front line. Bombing run on all the Hexen. That clears out any potential for new Miasmas. And now we see a small force of Hexen, or sorry, Exos move forward and take out these Hellborn. That's all that there is there. That's their left. All those Imps try to flee. They're just fodder now. This base, or sorry, this Shroud Stone goes down, as does this base. And I think the writing's on the wall for MSRM as he's now down by 200 supply. 200. Now MSRM is the hang in there player. He will stay around until he knows he has no chance left. Look at how many brutes he popped out. He says, look, I still got money. I still got production. But what does he do with them? He just turns them all to fiends and runs them. Oh! Oh goodness, that is not, I don't like to see that at all. That, I guess here's an answer if you're worried about fiend run buys. Make some ambush turrets. Anyways, that's a GG out of MSRM. And what a good game it was.